Hello geometry students, March here. So today we're going to talk about where are we ever going to use proportions in geometry. What you're going to want to have on you, your notes, calculator, and then a pen or a pencil because we are going to do some math today. So in Algebra 1, you guys solve proportions. One of the real important kind of why we need to do proportions is they do really come up a lot when you're doing, let's say, baking, or especially if you ever do travel and you have to do an exchange rate with money, like the euro or any of that. So I know the Canadian dollar to American dollar is $1 to 96. So that what that means is 1 Canadian dollar is worth 96 cents American. Now, I'm going to pay $30 for a sweater in Canadian dollars. What is the price in American? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it up so that we are going Canada over America. That's how we're going to set it up. So I know the exchange rate is 1 to 0.96. Well, that is basically a ratio, right? 1 over 0.96. That's Canadian over American. Now let's set that equal to, now we know $30 is in Canadian. They want to know how much is in American. So I know American's X. I know it's 30 for Canadian. Just like that. So then I'm going to cross multiply. So 1 times X, that is X. 90.96 times 30, that is 28.80. So for the same sweater that I would buy $30 or pay $30 in Canadian, I would pay $28.80 in American dollars because of the exchange rate happening. That's why a lot of times when you're traveling or any of that nature, you need to know the exchange rate so you know, are you on the better half or the other half. Other times that might come up with triangles or even just figures. So I'm given that LJ divided over Jn is in proportion to mk over kp. They want me to find Jn. So what I'm going to do, guys, is we're going to just basically fill in the numbers that we are given. So LJ. LJ is this side right here, and I'm tracing with my red. And they tell me that side length is 8 over Jn. Jn is right here, this piece right here that I'm just drawing in. Notice, guys, there is no label, so let's call that X, because that's what we're trying to find, right? Equals MK. That is right here. And now notice, guys, that doesn't have a measure either. But I do know MP is 20, and I know KP is 6. So would you agree with me that MK can be 14, right? Because if this full side right here is 20, and KP is 6, that means that this has to be 14 for MK. So I'm going to put 14 there. KP, we know that's 6. Now we can find Jan. We can cross multiply. So 8 times 6, that is 48. X times 14, that's 14x. Looks like I need to divide by 14. No, that doesn't divide nice. But if I simplify that fraction, I will get 24 over 7. Divide them both by 2. Or if you want it as a decimal, 3.43 as well. Let's try another one. So I'm given Mn over NO is proportion to MP over PQ. So let's start putting in what we know. Mn, we know that is 4. NO, we know that's 6. Now, MP, we don't have a measurement for MP. And we don't have a measurement for PQ, but we know the entire thing is 16. And they want us to find PQ. So I'm going to label PQ as X. And I'm actually going to put that in our proportion as well, because we know PQ is on the bottom. Now, how can I say, what can I represent MP as? Well, this full side's 16. So like the first one that we just did, the first example, I subtracted the number, right? Because like this one we said, well, that's 20, and we subtract 6 to get that number. We're going to do the exact same thing. We're actually going to say this is 16 minus x. This length, MP, is 16 minus x, right? Because let's say x was 2, this would be 14 right here, correct? If this was 12, MP had to be 4. That's what we're doing. So we can set it up. So this is going to be 16 minus x. Now I can cross multiply. So 4 times x, I'm going to get 4x. 6 times 16 minus x. I'm going to show my multiplication. That way we can make sure we distribute correctly. Whoop, pen decided to go a little wonky there. 96 minus 6x, just multiplied in. It looks like I had to add 6x to the other side, get my x's alone. I'm going to travel up here. Went too far down here. So I got 10x equals 96. Looks like we got to divide by 10. So I get x equals, I don't divide nice. I get 9.6 for a decimal, or if you want the fraction version, that would be 48 over 5, because that simplifies down only by 2. Let's try another one. Not too bad on setups, but they do kind of look a little different. So we have mn over no equals mp over pq. So let's set up mn is 18, right? M to n, yeah, that's 18. Okay. No. Oh, we don't have a measurement for no, but I know m to o is 24 and m to n is 18. So something plus 18 has to give me 24. It's got to be 6, right, for NO measurement. MP is 12, and they want me to find PQ, so we're going to call that X. Let's go ahead and cross multiply. So I get 18x equals 6 times 12, which is 72. Divide by 18, get x alone. 72 divided by 18, that is 4. Comes out nice. So x has to be 4, which if you kind of look at it, 6 to 18, that's by 3, right? So 4 to 12, that's 3. Kind of is interesting if you look at it in that direction too. Some of you are juniors and some of you are going to be taking your Aspire test again. So let's look and see if we can figure out this multiple choice, something that you might see on like your Aspire test. So A to B is 8, B to D is 6, A to C is 10, and C to E, we don't know that, so let's put an X there. So let's cross multiply. So we got 8x equals 60. Divide by 8. So we get x equals either 15 over 2, because they both are divisible by a 4, or 7.5. So if I look over on my choices, it's got to be A. A's got to be the right answer. For A to... Ooh, hold on. I didn't read that. So that would be CE is 7.5. Whew, Marsha almost made a mess up there. They want to know what's the length of AE. So they want to know the measure of this entire side. That is 17.5, right? 10 plus 7.5? Whew, Marsha nearly made a mess up right there. So it would be C. That is something to keep in mind as you are doing your Aspire test or even the ACT. Sometimes they ask for a little bit more than what you currently have. So just like that, we found CE, but they're like, oh, actually, I want AE instead. So be careful with that. Make sure you pay attention to what they're actually asking. And with that, that's the end of this video. See you later, Sabers.